Well, good morning. Nick Collier here, and turns out we took off for the weekend and went down to San Francisco, so I haven't been back here for a couple of days. We've had a great time, and so now I'm back, and just before I left, I really screwed this piece up. So we're going to have to do this again, and as you can see, the piece was perfect, everything was great, and I dropped my saw down on that to saw off the excess, and what happened was that the saw cut at an angle, and unfortunately for me it cut at the wrong angle, cut in instead of out. And so I came in there and tried to clean it up, but you know, it's just too far. I mean, really this needs to be a good ½ an inch closer so that we have a 3/4 opening in this part here. So I'm going to do it again. But it's not going to be as difficult this time because I already have my holes positioned. All I need to do is clean it up, make it to size, clean up the outsides, and then transfer these holes into the next piece. And then instead of trying to cut it with the saw, I'm just going to go ahead and mill that part off. And then I'll have a little bit more control, and I'll be able to mill it down to where I want it and then clean up the inside edges. So, and luckily, and I pretty much do this every time, I always buy twice as much metal as I need. It doesn't cost that much extra, and you know, if everything goes well, I have an extra piece of metal hanging around. If everything doesn't go well, as it is in this particular moment, I have an extra piece of metal hanging around. I don't have to send for it. It takes 2 weeks to get it to me, or a week to get it to me. I got it sitting right over here. So we're going to throw this next piece of metal in the saw. We're going to cut it off. We're going to put it in the lathe, trim up and square up all the edges, and excuse me, bore out the hole to a certain size, and then go ahead and put it on the mill and drill these 3 holes and take off that top edge. I'm thinking, oh, we'll have it done in 10 minutes. Yeah, right. So hang in with me. Let's have some fun. Okay, we got our new piece cut, and now we're going to go ahead and face off all of the edges and bore it out just a little bit. That should take care of just getting it squared out. Okay, this next part's pretty easy. We're going to take our old destroyed piece and drop it in on top of this. Now it looks like our perimeter's just about the same. And then basically take a transfer punch and go ahead and go down and transfer all of these settings. But I think before I do that, I want to get this clamped so that it isn't going to move. So let me go grab a clamp or two. And actually, we could probably clamp it right straight to the table. That would even be better. Let me get a little piece of steel to go across here, and we'll clamp it with the steel. Or maybe not. Yeah, let's do that. It looks like it'll work that way. making sure all of our edges are fairly consistent, and I think they are. So we'll just snug down on this. We don't have to get it super tight. And that's good. Get ourselves a little hammer, and there's our transfer punch. 1, 2, and 3. No problem. There's our marks. So now we'll just transfer it up to the mill and do a little mill. We got the thing to sit in the vise. I'm not really worried about centering these holes up or getting everything square or anything like that, because we're just going to go straight to the transfer punch. We're going to figure out where our center position is there and drill straight down from there. But first, we definitely want to get this thing up on something away from the surface of the mill itself, or of the vise. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to slide a couple of lathe bits under here. Let's see if we can get this to center out a little bit differently. There we go. And we're clear. We're almost clear on here, and we're definitely clear there. So we're cleared on all 4 corners, or 3 corners. Let's, this one here is, all right, kick it out of low gear. Spin it up a little faster. Let's go get some oil. And we're off. Aha! Spinning the wrong way. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm back. We've pilot drilled our second hole. Now we're going to come in with the 3/8 and put in our third, or our second hole to the proper size, and shouldn't be too much of a problem. Alright, so to put the countersink in, we've got to take the chuck head out and put a collet in. And we've measured our collet, or our bit, so that if it lands just at the collet lands right at this bottom edge, it'll be just about right as far as getting the depth correct. So we're gonna See if we can land that right at the bottom edge there, right there. Tighten it up. And we should be able to just crank her down and do it. We have to change the speed and the direction of travel. Now we're going to have pretty slow, deliberate. All right, let's crank her down, see what we've got. Okay, so we've got our holes drilled and cleaned up our mess a bit, and we're ready to pull this thing out of the vise and countersink these holes just a little bit. Let's just go ahead and do that whilst we're here, and we can just kind of, I'm coming in with a little hand drill, just kind of hit that bottom edge just a little bit to knock off the little ridge that formed around there so that the bolt can get in, because before the bolt couldn't get in. And just make sure the bolt goes in. Yep, goes in just fine. And let's see where it bottoms out, just for yucks. So we're bottoming out pretty deep, which is great, which means we've got a lot of threads going into that aluminum. So next thing we want to do, now that we're all set, oh, actually I think I want to get a bigger counter and go ahead and countersink these here, because they're not sharp, but they're not dull either, and why not make them dull? Yeah, that just kind of cleaned it up, gives us a nice finish. So what we have now is the time where we get to come in and cut off this top edge here a little bit and chamfer it in and get it reduced for the cable. So what we want to do is come in and put our piece in sideways. Let's clean this up a little bit. Tighten it up. Well, we're just going to snug it down, because what we want to do is we want to get even with these bolt holes, and so we'll just come in with the veneer calipers and get that set up. There's one. Okay, we're a little bit off. Just a tad. Oh, that's way off. Okay. Bottom of the hole. Bottom of the hole. I think that looks pretty good. So now we're going to come in and just start trimming off the top of this until we get a 3/4 inch, actually a little bit bigger, probably about a 1 inch gap. What we're probably going to do is get about a 1/2 inch gap and then come in from the top and trim that back. You'll see as we go. Okay, we got her tightened up. We're ready to go, except our table's too low. Now we've got our battery charged, so we can come in with the drill and raise that table. And if you don't have this tool, I can't believe I've gone this long without it. For 20 bucks, on eBay. You can buy this sucker, and I tell you, it has just saved my back. So we're going to take this up. All right, we're in slow speed where we want to be. We'll break our gibs a little bit. And come in, drop this down. Take a groove right through the center, and then I'll know where I'm at and what I need to do. So the way we're going to do center here is to measure our distance here. Let's put a little ink line on it. And maybe up front here too. And we are at 2 inches 200 thousandths even, so 1/1 would be halfway. And that's going to be pretty easy. There's our halfway point. This blue ink doesn't really work that well. Give it a moment to dry. While we're letting that dry, let's measure the width of this. Because we may not want to go this wide. The general width at this point is 900 thousand. I'm guessing this is 1 inch. So that's just about right. So what we'll do is we'll take this and swing it around, and maybe we can just crank it up. There we go. And we'll bring it over to our line. Not quite. There we are, almost there. No, that's it, we are there. Okay, so then we just bring it over to our line. There it is. How are we doing with the ink? Yep, good. go halfway from there to there, and from there to there, and we're there. So halfway is 1/100. We'll ace out our digital. We're gonna move in 101. I believe that's what we want. Yes. Or 1 inch 100. 1 inch 100. Yes. And that takes us to our line, a little bit beyond our line. Let's see what we've got here. No, pretty much right to the line. Okay, and then half of the shaft here, and I'm guessing it's a 1 inch. So we'll take that another 50 or 500 thousandths. So it would be 1 inch 600. 5, 6. A little bit too far. There's 1 inch 6. And then let's take this out and start it up. Drop this down. Okay, well, I ran out of battery on that one, so you didn't get to see the last part of that cut, but you know what the cut looks like. So no problem. Now what we're going to do is take the rough out mill out and put a smaller finishing bit in. That should give us a little bit cleaner surface and also allow me to kind of come in and clean up the edges a little bit. There we go. And we're going to go down to 5/8, I believe. Yep. Okay, bring that down, bring this in. Let's take a measurement. It looks like we're a little wide on this side, so, and we got some adjustments we can make here. Sometimes going in, hogging in like that, it'll tend to kick off one direction or another. Yeah, we're about 1/8 thicker on this side. So we're going to take this side off first. Okay, let's have a look at it and see what we got. Looks pretty good. I think what we want to do here now is I want to come in and just chamfer this edge just a bit, just to give it a nice rollover, because we're going to be he's going to be putting cables in and out of there, and a sharp edge will kind of chew up the cable. So we'll give him a little bit of a relief on that. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Yeah, I think we can come up with something that'll work with that. All right, let's have a look at that and see what we got. It's pretty good. So I think it's time we could take this thing out and go ahead and clean it up. Then we'll bring a file to all of these rough edges here, and this piece is almost ready. Yeah, got a nice relief in there. I think I'll come in behind here, even though it's not sharp. I'm going to come in behind here and kiss this with a file, kiss these outside edges with a file, and we'll go from there.